Welcome back to the Box Office Breakdown Show here in Max Talks Movies. In this video today, we're going to break down a huge milestone at the box office this past weekend, October 1st to October 3rd. Then we're going to look at the overall domestic box office. We have a new leader with a new $200 million club. We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to look at the worldwide box office. Two movies that have not even come out here in the United States have already made well over $100 million worldwide. My name is Matt Stenenberg. Welcome to Max Talks Movies. If you're new to the channel, do movie reviews, TV show reviews, streaming platform reviews, movie rankings, and this show every single Monday on the channel. So please subscribe, ring the bell, and share the video if you're new to the channel. Also, please comment section down below. Let me know what movies did you see in theaters this past weekend. And like the video, guys, the thumbs up button down below. Let's start talking about the box office right now. And let's talk about this past weekend, October 1st to October 3rd. And I said it was a pretty memorable weekend, a pretty accomplished-led weekend, and that is because Venom, Let There Be Carnage, debuted this weekend exclusively in theaters with a $90.1 million opening weekend. This is the biggest opening weekend we have seen at the box office during the pandemic. So the last year and a half, 2 years, biggest opening, which tops Black Widow, tops Shang-Chi's 3-day opening weekend, and tops F9. All those movies were around in the $70 million mark. Venom, Let There Be Carnage is now the leader at the domestic box office openings with $90.1 million. A great sign for theater people, for theater owners, for box office people, for movie theaters themselves, that the box office is still alive for particular movies, especially in a month where every single week a big new release is hitting theaters. So Venom starting October off with an absolute bang. Huge good news for Sony. Maybe it was because everyone was talking about the post-credit scene, but maybe it was also because it was a 90-minute PG-13 superhero film. And I think that's also why it did really, really well. One, it was PG-13. Another, it was 90 minutes long. It had like a $11 to $14 million range in its Thursday night openings, where I went on Thursday night, which counts in for Friday. So Venom, Let There Be Carnage, what a start to the month of October. $90.1 million, a huge win for Sony, for Marvel, for just anyone trying to release a movie. Again, Venom, remember, was supposed to release in Halloween spot, if I'm not mistaken, October 15th this month, but it moved up 2 weeks because of the success that Shang-Chi had on Labor Day weekend. Venom moved up to October 1st. That has paid off because it now even did better than Shang-Chi, making 90.1. It's so nice to actually now to see a non-MCU film also top this list as well. Let's move into second place this week. We had 3 releases coming out this weekend. In second place this weekend is The Addams Family 2, the animated film, racking up $18 million in its opening weekend. This film was available for both exclusively in theaters, and it was also available for premium video on demand. So one of the rare releases that gets both theaters and PVOD at the same time. It probably could have been well over $20 million if it wasn't available for PVOD. I think it was in the top 3 for most PVOD outlets, including Apple and Amazon this past weekend. So The Addams Family did well, solid for the box office, especially when it's also available to rent for like to buy for like $20. So The Addams Family 2, the sequel, coming out at number 2. Again, a lot of people were talking about this versus Hotel Transylvania 4. That Hotel Transylvania 4 was supposed to release in theaters this month. It got sold to Amazon a couple months ago, and Amazon Prime has still not dated when the movie is coming out. So Addams Family 2 taking advantage of its October release date. Well, for the first time in 4 weeks, 4-week streak, Shang-Chi was number 1 at the domestic box office. It comes in at number 3 this week, and now it takes a 54% drop with $6 million. We'll talk about its domestic total when we get to that $200 million club that we talk about on the next part of this video today. But Shang-Chi finally gets to competition, really had no competition in the entire month of September, and that proves that because 3 of the 5 movies, all 3 movies that came out this weekend are all in the top 5. So more people wanted to watch a variety of movies. So movies like Candyman, Free Guy, Jungle Cruise all jumped out of the box office top 5 this weekend. Shang-Chi is at number 3, still holding up really well, has already surpassed Black Widow at the domestic and worldwide box office. And it will be available for free with no extra cost on Disney Plus on Disney Plus Day in November 12th. They're already around a month away. So Shang-Chi continues to do well at the domestic box office. The third main release of the weekend was The Many Saints of Newark, the Sopranos prequel that was available both in theaters and with no extra cost on HBO Max. That film does $5 million in its opening weekend. Really low opening for Many Saints of Newark. Again, it seemed like critics had a good time with it, but mostly fans did not. It had a C+ cinema score. And Rotten Tomato has a rotten percentage for fans. So it did not seem like, other than critics, no one really seemed to like this movie. Also because it was already available on HBO Max and it's based off a TV show, it really doesn't make sense for this just to be a streaming movie than an actual released film. So it makes sense, the $5 million, but it is number 4 this weekend. And at number 5, hanging on by a thread, is Dear Evan Hansen, with the musical coming in at number 5, making 2.4. It's a 67% drop in its second weekend. It takes its domestic total to $11 million. So this film has, talking about critics and everyone really not liking this movie. And when we talk about Many Saints of Newark, Many Saints of Newark, where critics liked it, but audiences didn't. Did not seem like anyone liked this movie. If you did out there, I'm happy for you. I haven't seen it, but it does seem the consensus no one really enjoyed this film. A 67% drop is a lot for any film, especially for a film that makes under $10 million in its opening weekend. So this film is creepily now probably will be out of the top 5 by next weekend. When we go to the top domestic movies of the year, Shang-Chi, as I said, I want to talk about this in its own video here. On this video, Shang-Chi is now in the $200 million club. It gets to $206 million. So we finally have our first movie breaking through that $100 million threshold to get 200. Big success. So really congrats to Shang-Chi joining $200 million club for the first time, first movie in this year. Black Widow's at number 2 with $183 million. F9, The Fast Saga, is at $173. A Quiet Place Part 2 is at $160. Free Guy overtakes Jungle Cruise. So Jungle Cruise was barely leading Free Guy last week. Now Free Guy takes a $1 million lead over Jungle Cruise. Free Guy at 117.6, Jungle Cruise at 116, and Godzilla vs. Kong at 100. But the big thing, as I just said, is that Venom, Let There Be Carnage opening is at $90 million, which comes in at number 8. Cruella is at number 9 with $86 million, and that film was out for a long time. So big success for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. They should be joining the $100 million club by probably next weekend. So really big size. The question is, can Venom get to $200 million? It does seem like that, especially off a $90 million opening. Should not take too much to get it to $200 million, but we'll see. Obviously, there is fierce competition for Venom, Let There Be Carnage, especially coming this weekend. So we're going to really see how the sustaining power of this movie does hold up. And we look at the domestic, the worldwide box office, American films wise. F9, The Fast Saga, is at number 2 with 716. Godzilla vs. Kong is number 4, 467. Shang-Chi's at number 5 now at 386. It overtakes Black Widow's 377. So Shang-Chi now overall worldwide has taken over Black Widow. Free Guy's at number 7 with 320. A Quiet Place Part 2 is at 297. And Cruella is at number 228. As I said, a couple of movies that have not been even released yet here in the United States have already broken $100 million at the box office. Dune has been released, really the past 3 weeks have already been released in select worldwide states, countries. Dune is at $100 million worldwide before it's even hit, doesn't even hit here in the United States until October 22nd. So we're still multiple weeks away, just under 3 weeks away from Dune. So the fact that it's already at that mark is a big success. And Bond, that's the big new release here in the United States this upcoming weekend. Bond opened in the UK, which is one of its biggest markets, obviously, the 007 property. $119 million opening worldwide for No Time to Die. Really big deal that it did that well in London. I think it's one of the highest. It's definitely the highest opening for London during the pandemic. For London, as a whole, for England, sorry, biggest opening for England of the pandemic. Is overtaken. It's already on track with Spectre numbers and even Skyfall numbers. And Skyfall got to $1 billion. So we'll see. It probably won't get to obviously to that point, but we'll see how Bond does here in the United States. It is a 2-hour, 45-minute film, but critics are seeming to like it. Is the last Daniel Craig Bond film. So No Time to Die is the big release here in theaters this weekend. How much will Venom Let There Be Carnage dip? Again, the only new movie coming out this weekend is Bond, No Time to Die. So we'll let you know next week, how will Venom hold up? Will No Time to Die, how big of an opening will it take? Now everyone is trying to catch up to Venom Let There Be Carnage's new total model with $90 million this past weekend. So that's the video here on Max Talks Box Office today on Max Talks Movies. Please like the video, subscribe, ring the bell. My more videos are coming down the line. I'm going to break down the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene in a video either today or tomorrow. My Midnight Mass spoiler review will be coming out as well. My season finale spoiler review of What If will be coming on Wednesday. Thursday, I'll be coming with my review of Bond, the No Time to Die movie. Really excited to talk about that movie on Thursday. There's another Netflix movie review. A lot of reviews coming here on the channel in the next couple of days. So please subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.